The idea of an American version of Eurovision is one of those things we used to joke about, but never thought we would actually see. Like the Fast and the Furious series sending a car into space. Well, guess what, guys?
We're in outer space!
So Monday, March 21st was the premiere of Americavision. I mean, they didn't actually call it Americavision. How could they? People might have been confused. They might have thought it was a sequel to WandaVision, where Captain America and Vision shack up together and start a bed and breakfast. Actually, that's a really good idea. Somebody write that down. Now, going into this premiere, we were a bit skeptical. Eurovision doesn't have a great track record when it comes to spin-offs. Do you remember Eurovision Choir? So I'm not saying we're going to cover this thing from front to back, but we have been curious. How curious? Here's a screenshot that we took right after they uploaded the songs to YouTube. In some cases, they had 0 views. We were frantically refreshing, waiting for them to appear on our screen. Do we have a problem? Probably. But do you want to talk about our sad addiction to Eurovision, or do you want to talk about Americavision?
I'm ready to go. Yeah, you already know.
Now, Eurovision has a firm limit of 6 performers on stage. Right away, this show is going in a different direction. They got the whole cast of La La Land up there dancing like it's a Gap commercial.
Taste it.
Hey, do you remember the Gap commercials with the swing dancing? You remember them? That's still a cool cultural reference, right? Yam House is the only actual band performing in this qualifier, and they put them first, probably because the intro package of them is so much more fun than watching Michael Bolton stare at bridges for 3 minutes. Alexa has spent the last few years in Korea working in K-pop, so is Wonderland K-pop? Well, the synths are, and the slick production is, but do you hear that rhythm? The beat is like bum ch bum ch bum ch bum ch. That's a dembow rhythm. It's more characteristic of Latin music. We're going to hear it when Puerto Rico performs later in the show, and we're going to hear it again when this channel reviews Spain's entry in the Eurovision Song Contest. Anyway, Alexa feels like an early favorite. She's got a polished song, she's a great dancer, and it doesn't hurt that she's got tens of millions of views on YouTube. In some ways, she's more of a ringer than Michael Bolton. And we appreciate that she made her own Alexa joke before Snoop Dogg got a chance to. I have never in my life pronounced this state Arkansas, but now I'm afraid I'm going to do it every time I open my mouth. It's hard to believe that this song wasn't inspired by Faith Hill's 1999 mega hit, Breathe. Faith, by the way, is from Mississippi, right next door to Arkansas. Oh God, I'm going to do it every time I open my mouth, aren't I? She and Kelsey kind of look alike, too. Huh, that's interesting. Anyway, this is a cute country ballad, but I don't think it's anything we're going to be humming tomorrow, and putting it after the Oklahoma Cirque du Soleil certainly didn't do it any favors.
No sex in the grass, I introduce them to rats. Not writing the check and dealer, she's paying the cash.
I'm getting a little uptight about whether UG Skywalkin has an apostrophe at the end of his name or not. Here, he doesn't. But here, he does. This is going to keep me up at night. Anyway, in the actual Eurovision, one of the ironclad rules is that there are no mentions of commercial products. This came to a head in 2012 when San Marino, hilariously, had to rename their entry, the Facebook song, to... But apparently UG Skywalkin didn't get the memo because he wants everyone to know that he is rolling out in style.
I drive you crazy like loco. You lose it cuando te toco, and I can prove it tonight.
The most watched video on YouTube is Baby Shark. The second most watched video is Despacito, a song by 2 Puerto Rican artists. So on the one hand, Puerto Rican music clearly has tremendous appeal all over the globe. On the other hand, Loco is no Despacito. We get the dembow rhythm again, the performers are all charismatic and it's clear they're having a good time, and the fact that the beat is a little slow somehow makes it sexier. But aside from the chorus, the hook where he goes, Loco, I don't remember anything else from this song. By the way, is loco misspelled here? Isn't this how you spell, like, for loco? Anyway, we can't let this pass without praising the aesthetic here. That pink jacket is just like, mwah.
We gotta love like we've never been hurt. We gotta rise like we've never been burned.
In the 80s and early 90s, Michael Bolton was every middle-aged woman's favorite musician if she found Kenny G to be a little intense. His biggest hit was probably When a Man Loves a Woman, but don't sleep on the minor Disney classic Go the Distance.
Like a shooting star, I will go the distance.
For a later generation, he was mainly famous as a punchline in Office Space.
Vic, I'll be honest with you. I love his music. I do. I'm a Michael Bolton fan.
And for a later generation, they're probably confused about where his Jack Sparrow getup is.
This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow.
Now, this song is really in the Eurovision tradition of being very uplifting without actually being about anything. You got minor key verses leading into a major chorus and a choir of angels. It actually kind of reminds us of a 2016 Eurovision song, Soldiers of Love from Denmark.
Take my hand and never let go. Side by side, we walk an open road.
Anyway, if enough boomer women are tuning into this thing, Michael Bolton may have a shot. We get it, Elizabeth. You like pink. And not just the color, though that too. This pink.
So raise your glass if you are wrong in all the right ways.
This really does sound like Pink in her voice and her style, and there is that message of girl power that some Pink songs seem to revolve around. It's pure pop, but it has kind of a punk rock attitude, though to be fair, Elizabeth updates or maybe retrofies Pink with this epic guitar solo. Now, Johnny Bravo here is obviously going for a retro vibe with his Elvis-y hair and his vintage guitar collection. But the real era that this song takes me back to is 2002 with Junkie XL's remix of Elvis's A Little Less Conversation. There was a time around the turn of the century where that kind of remixed old school cool was everywhere, with Ocean's 11 being maybe the prime example. Anyway, I'm going to root for this guy, if only because I want to see more B-roll of his family's cheese factory. Go Badgers. Now, I know Keone says this song is pure Mississippi, but when those two guys came out banging on tambourines and wearing mesh shirts, I could have sworn that I was watching Eurovision. So remember back in 2015 when Uptown Funk was as inescapable as the very air we breathe? That same Mark Ronson album had a track on it called I Can't Lose, written by Ronson and Kanye West producer Jeff Bosker. The two of them went on a road trip through the Deep South looking for an unknown talent to perform the song, and they found Keone Starr.
I can't lose. I can't lose.
So she actually has a track on one of the most successful albums of the 2010s, though somehow it didn't make Starr into a star. Though bonus, you can book her to perform at your Christmas party through this website. But okay, her voice is the real deal. Unfortunately, this isn't The Voice. It's not just about who can belt out the best high notes. It's about who has the best song. And while she's great singing it, Fire may not be enough of an earworm to go the distance.
New boot, goofing in a dime bag, snake skin. So damn fresh, the gorilla still shaking.
Now, one of the things that makes Eurovision memorable is the gimmicks. If you can't have the best song, you can have the weirdest presentation. Though honestly, after Old Town Road, I'm not sure that a country rap hybrid is all that unusual anymore. And for what it's worth, Ryan Charles has been doing this for a few years. Here's a song of his from 2020. The thing about this song is that you assume it's a joke at first, but the more you listen, the more you realize you kind of like it. He goes so far into cheesy that he ends up coming out the other side in pure awesomeness. And listen, guys, it has been a tough couple years. Could this song be exactly what a frazzled nation needs to heal? Plus, gimmick songs have been known to actually win Eurovision. Could Ryan be America's answer to Lordy?
So just go on with your life.
Have you ever wondered what Adele would look like if she was a bear? Seriously, this guy has the Adele pipes and the Adele wistfulness, plus a touch of maybe Joe Cocker bluesiness. In a show where everyone went bright and energetic, one bearded, grizzled man with eyes like the sea after a storm had the courage to get sad. And for that, the judges awarded him with the fast lane pass to the semifinals. So of the 10 remaining songs from this qualifier, 3 more semifinalists will be determined by audience voting. We have some reservations about the voting system, which is designed so that each state and territory gets an equal number of points to allocate. This may seem fair, but recall that one of the systemic crises facing America is that every state gets 2 senators. This means that my beloved home state of California, which is the most populous in the Union and one of the largest economies on Earth, and which, though this has nothing to do with anything I'm sure, has large liberal and minority populations, gets the same representation in the Senate as Montana, which is mostly cows. Could a similar dynamic appear in Americavision, with songs that have a younger or more urban feel being penalized in favor of what appeals to an older or more heartland demographic? We'll keep an eye on things for the next 7 weeks to find out. Now don't forget to subscribe to this channel for our coverage of Eurovision, aka the Mothership. We'll see you next time.